Hey there and welcome back to the video series. So in the previous video we installed NodeMon. That is a handy tool for monitoring the changes we make in our project and display any errors that we will have. So we have NodeMon up and running, and we also made the script, the start development script that will launch NodeMon with server.js, the main entry point here. Okay. So the next thing is that in order to actually do something with this RESTful API, we should connect the database. And we made the basic route here, and that is not connected to any database whatsoever. We have a working route here, welcome, and that is good. But now we need to connect the database. So if we head over to MongoDB Atlas, we got our cluster here and we can see that it is running. And if we click connect, and it's important to have created the user. We did this in a previous video. We created a database user. It's right here, and we set a password on that right in here. So we can, and you can also edit the password if you need to do that. But if we go to the cluster again and we hit connect, then we have different options here. We can connect with the Mongo shell, which is a shell to connect and query the database that uses a JavaScript interface to do that. We can also connect using a MongoDB Compass, which is a GUI, graphical user interface, to see the data in the database. But we're going to use our application to connect. So we click on that and we can see there is actually a whole bunch of different drivers for all different programming languages to connect to MongoDB. So you can virtually use all frameworks and programming languages with Mongo. But we're going to use NodeJS, and we need to select the newest version here. And then we have here the connection string that we can use in our Node.js project. So we're going to copy that. And let's close that one again here, go back to our project. And now it is really handy we got this env file, because we can make a new entry there, a new setting called db host equals, and then our database string. So now we need to modify this based on our database user. That is okay, but we need to modify the password for that. And I'm just going to put this in here. So that's the password for my user, and then we need to modify the database name. And if we take a look in the collections here in the cluster, we can see that we don't have any data yet. So when we don't have a database yet, or we don't have any database in our cluster, so we can define what the database name should be here. So let's just call this shop database and then def, because maybe we would like to have a test database also at a later point, where we would like to test this API and not interfere with a production database. So that should be it. We have database user, we got the password, we got the shop database name there. Okay. So we're going to save that, and then we head over to the actual server.js. And one thing to note here is that if we make changes to env file, NodeMon is not going to monitor that, because it is only JavaScript file and JSON files that it will monitor. So we have to start up NodeMon again when we make changes to the env file. But usually it is really rare that we make changes often to the env file. So if we head back here, let's see. Then we imported Mongoose, and we can use that for actually connecting to the database. Now we can see NodeMon is immediately responding to us that we have errors because I haven't finished coding yet. So we can see here that what you need to actually provide in this method is the connection string first. So we are going to take I'm just going to make it a little bit more readable here. First parameter is the connection string. And how do we actually get that? Well, we can see that we got it using this path here when we did the port. And Now we can take the database host. Whoop. Let me just verify that it is the database host there. Yeah. So then we can also provide additional parameters, and we need to provide 2 parameters in order to avoid some warnings from and some errors from MongoDB. And the first one is called use unified topology. Yes. So we're going to supply that one there, and we're also going to supply use new URL parser. Okay. So now we can see that NodeMon is being stable again. We can see that it has started the server. There is no errors in this code, but again, if I make any mistake here, a typo, it will tell me that it crashed and there was an error. Where is the error? We can see mongoose 22 is not defined. That makes sense. And 14. So I think it's a nice help that it will immediately tell me that we have an error. So, well, one thing we could do, we don't get any errors, so this is an indication that everything has that it has connected to the database. And if we want to actually get some indication that we indeed connected to it, we can write a small. We can subscribe to an event that Mongoose exposes to us. So we can do Mongoose connection. And once we have a connection, an open connection, we can make a console log here stating that connected to MongoDB. And we can see immediately here that when NodeMon has stopped outputting errors, connected successfully to MongoDB. So we have a connection to MongoDB right now. It is also good practice to, if we have an error in this connection process, that we will catch the error. So we will attach a catch clause here. And as we did before, console log. Let's see here. Yeah. Error connecting to MongoDB, whatever error you want to display. Error. Right. And I think to maybe make this a bit more unified when I make a string here. Alright, so now we can see that connected successfully to MongoDB. If we make a change, let's make a change in our database string. If we have the wrong user, not the correct user, then we can see we just need to restart NodeMon here. Yes. And I think my terminal went crazy there. So if we run npm run start dev, let's see what happens now. We can see error connecting to MongoDB, authentication failed. So MongoDB is telling us that it tried to authenticate, but it was the wrong username or password. So we put this back here again, and we start the server again, and it should connect nicely now. So connected successfully to MongoDB. Right, so this is it for this video about connecting to the database. Now we have a connection, we can start making the routes, the different routes that will make up this API. Okay, so I hope you make this work and have fun with this. Bye bye.